In this video, we're going to go over the Manage Grades area. After you go through the Setup Wizard in the Gradebook, you will be given this page. We're going to start by creating a new category, and then we'll create a new item. A category is going to be your grouping or listing of your grade items. For the first category we're going to do is tests. You can enter a description here, and if you check the box, it allows the students to be able to see the description of that category. For the weight, we want our test to weigh 25% of the grade. If the weight can exceed the 25%, you want to be sure you check Allow Category Grade to Exceed Category Weight. For the distribution, you have three options. The main option that we use is distribute weight evenly across all items. So whether you have 5, 10, or 20 grade items, the weight will be distributed evenly across all of those items. By using this option, you also have the availability of dropping the lowest grade items. If you drop the lowest 1 or 2 grade items, you want to be sure you put in the number here of how many grade items you want to drop. The other two options is distribute weight by points across all items in the category. What this does is if you have one test that has more points than another test and you want that test to weigh more towards the final grade than the other test, you would want to be sure you check distribute weight by points across all items, and then it will automatically distribute the weight depending on how many points each item is. And then manually assign weights to items in the category. We don't suggest doing this because all of the items in the category have to equal 100% of the 25%. And this is where I'm getting that 25% from the weight. And it can be a little hard to keep that equal if you don't know what you're doing. So usually one of these other two options is the best way to go. Display options you don't have to worry about unless you want to display the class average and the grade distribution to your students. Typically we don't use that setting, so you can skip over that one if you'd like. And then restrictions allows you to hide or release the grade item, grade category based on different things in the course. This is another area in the gradebook that we don't use a lot because you can set these restrictions on the actual quiz items or Dropbox items. And that's where we suggest doing these kinds of settings. So we'll click Save. And once I've saved, I want to go back to the grade list. Here you'll notice I have a category for tests, and then it also is filled in my final calculated grade and final adjusted grade for me. I want to go ahead and set up some new categories to equal 100% on that weight in the class. So this one will be homework assignments. If I wanted to do a short name, it would display the short name instead of the long name. But that's up to you if you want to fill that in or not. I don't want to do a description, so I'll just hide that. The weight for this category we're going to do is 50% of the grade. And I'm going to distribute weight evenly across all items. Actually, let's do distribute weight by points on this one so you can see how that works. And then if I do save and new, that'll take me to a page to go ahead and make a new category. And this one we're going to call project. And we'll make this one 25% of the grade, and we just want to distribute it evenly on this one as well. Distribute and save. So now if we go back to grades list, you'll see I have three categories, one for test, one for homework, and one for project. And if I add up all of their weight, it equals 100% for their full grade in the course. Now we want to create a new item. The new item is going to allow us to have an item that they actually get graded on, such as test 1 or test 2 or their homework assignments for each chapter, or however you do that. The most used grade item is going to be numeric. You also have the option of selecting a select box, but it can't be created until at least one org unit grade scheme has been created. What this means is that default of percentage under the grade schemes, you have to go under grade scheme and create a new one before this option becomes available to you, such as they give an example here as very good or B+ for the check select box. You also have the option of doing a pass-fail. So if they don't get a grade, either they do it or they don't. You could do a pass-fail type of grade item. Formula allows you to create a formula for the grade item. And it gives an example here of users who received at least 50% on all participation grade items is a perfect attendance bonus. And then it gives the example of what kind of formula to do. This is an advanced feature. If you need help with this, you can always contact us and we'll be more than glad to help you figure out what the formula is that you're looking for here. Calculated takes other grade items and gives a cumulative achievement across multiple grade items. This example shows a midterm grade, such as Assignment 1, Assignment 2, Quiz 1, and Quiz 2, divided by the total max points times 100 equals 73%. So if you wanted to add multiple items together and then divide to get one calculated grade, this is what you would use. And then here's the text box. If you remember when we went through the setup wizard, there was a number of text characters to display, was 15. This is where that comes into play. If you use a text item that is longer than 15 characters, then you'll want to go back and change that number to display all of the characters. So we're going to choose numeric here. And numeric, we're going to set up Chapter 1 quiz. We want to choose the category as tests. When we fill in tests, you'll notice down here the weight was automatically filled into 100%, and this quiz will just do 100 points. If they can exceed that 100 points, you want to be sure you check the can exceed box. If it's a bonus item such as extra credit that you're giving them points for, be sure that you check bonus so that we know it's an extra credit and it doesn't count against their final grade if they don't do it. Grade scheme, again, I said was the default, and you'll see that in just a minute. Rubrics we don't use in the system yet, so skip over that. And again, your display options is where you can view the class average or grade distribution to users. Those typically aren't checked either, so you can skip over that. Managing view, if you wanted to override the display options for the item, you can check these boxes here to do that. These are settings that we don't typically use. So to go back over what we do is the name, the category, the max points, the weight if applicable, and then checking the can exceed and bonus boxes if we need to. The very minimum, that's what you need to set up. And restrictions, again, like the category, we don't typically use the restrictions in the gradebook. And then the objectives tab also goes with this rubrics that we don't use in the system. So you can skip over all of that. If you want to go into that kind of stuff, feel free to contact us and we will do our best to help you set up any of that. But like I said, the rubrics and the objectives we don't even use in the system right now. When we do, we will have more training videos created. So if we do save and new, this will take us back to the screen where we can select our next grade item. Most of the grade items I'm going to do are going to be numeric. So we'll just say this is Chapter 2 test. Chapter 2 quiz. Selecting the category, if you watch the weight down here, when I select category, it should change to 50% for the tests. What that means is between Chapter 1 quiz and Chapter 2 quiz, they both are 100% of this 25% of the final grade. And then I want to change max points to 100, and we'll just say they can exceed 100 on that one. Go ahead and do save and new. I'm going to do numeric again. And this one we will do a homework assignment. So we'll just say Chapter 1 homework, keeping it simple. Category is going to be homework. And for max points, we'll do this one. If you remember, we set the homework up as distributing the weights based on the points. That's why it says click save here. So once I enter my points and click save, you'll notice it changes the weight. To show you what 2 items in there, we're going to go back to grades list, new item, numeric. Because I didn't click save and new before, I had to go back to grades list and then new item to set up this next one. So we'll do chapter 2 homework and choose homework for the category. Chapter 2 homework we'll say was worth 80 points, and click save and new, and we'll do just one more under homework. Numeric, chapter 3 homework, category is going to be homework, and max points for this one we'll do 100. So save. Now if we go back to grades list, you'll see I have my test category for 25% of the weight. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 quizzes are 100 points each, and they're 50% of this 25% weight. And then homework, we have 50% of the weight of the total grade. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3 homework are all different points. So if you notice, because we told it to distribute the weight by the points, that Chapter 3 homework is 100 points, so it's 43% of that 50%. And then Chapter 2 is 80 points, so it's 34% of that 50%. And then Chapter 1 was only 50 points, so it's 21%. And all 3 of these should equal 100% of this 50. Project, we'll just go ahead and create one more item, and we'll do project as pass-fail just so you can see what a different item looks like. For project, we'll say project part 1. I want to put a short name in there and choose the category as project, and this is going to be worth 200 points. Not that that makes a difference since it's all the same, and click save. Back to grades list. Okay, so in a sense we have a full gradebook here. I think we're going to stop there, and in the next video we will go over how to enter grades.